Frank Prentice was just 23 years old when he survived the Titanic disaster. Frank Prentice worked as an assistant purser, responsible for managing money and supplies during the Titanic's maiden voyage. He recounted the moment he first sensed that something was seriously wrong that night. He said, "There was no real impact. It felt like slamming on the brakes in a car. And that was it. The ship just stopped. I had a porthole open and looked outside. The sky was clear, stars were shining, and the sea was perfectly calm. I couldn't make sense of it." When Frank Prentice left his cabin to investigate on deck, he saw some ice nearby, but no visible sign of the iceberg or any damage above the waterline. However, beneath the surface, the damage to the supposedly unsinkable ship was catastrophic. The order was given for women and children to board the lifeboats, but Frank Prentice explained that many hesitated for two reasons. The lifeboats hung 70 feet, 21.3 meters, above the water, and most people simply couldn't believe the ship would actually sink. Frank Prentice, along with a few other men, was instructed to gather as many biscuits as possible from the storeroom. When they returned to the deck, the ship was already listing heavily, and he was unable to make his way to the lifeboats. As he rushed to put on his life jacket, the Titanic was sinking rapidly, and panic was spreading as passengers from third class crowded onto the decks. Then, the Titanic suddenly broke in two. All at once, she lifted sharply, and you could hear everything inside crashing down through her, Prentice recalled. Mr. Prentice clung to a piece of debris as the crippled ship lifted high into the air. With no other choice, he let go and plunged into the sea. "I was wearing a life belt, and when I hit the water, the impact was tremendous," he recalled. Drifting in the freezing ocean, surrounded by bodies, he watched the ship vanish beneath the waves. Though he desperately wanted to survive, he admitted, "I didn't see much hope of making it. I was slowly freezing, but by the grace of God, I came upon a lifeboat, and they pulled me aboard," he said. As he looked around, he realized he was sitting next to Virginia Estelle Clark, a familiar face from the deck, where he had earlier helped a young honeymooning couple with their life jackets. He had convinced Mrs. Clark to board a lifeboat, assuring her that her new husband, Walter, would follow shortly. Now she turned to Mr. Prentice and asked if he had seen her husband. Tragically, it was later confirmed that Walter was among the dead. Mr. Prentice said he was nearly frozen solid and believed that Mrs. Clark had likely saved his life by wrapping a cloak around him.